everyone. I'm Mayor Brian Bowman, a very proud University of Manitoba alumnus from the class of 1996 and former chair of the University of Manitoba Alumni Association. And it is my great pleasure to be interviewing a fellow alumni from the University of Manitoba, Judge Kimberly Prost from the International Criminal Court, and now a recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award in Professional Achievement. So thanks for joining us, Kimberly.
It's my great pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
So Kimberly, at University of Manitoba, you launched an advocacy program. I'm wondering if you can just share what that was and how that's helped you with your incredible career.
Well, it was in fact a program that was launched by the university, by the law school, and it was really an innovation in its time, because we have many of those programs today, but the U of M started one very early on. And it was, for me, an experience I still remember to this day, and I carry with me the moments from that program where I got to appear in court with senior counsel, of course, and learning so much from being in the action, if you can put it that way, and being guided by the counsel who assisted us at the advocacy program in the clinic, and being able to help individual clients. And the things I learned then, and that feeling remains with me today, even as I'm sitting here in The Hague.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible the skills that you learn, and obviously you've applied them through a very distinguished career in the judicial system globally, and really made an incredible impact. It's nice to see the work at the University of Manitoba and our respective faculties, and the long-term impact that they're having on the world, and you're personifying excellence and that education from the University of Manitoba.
Yeah, and I would just add that very much the experience I had at the university, that was just one example of it, but I found the program really impressive, especially when I look back now and I think about all of the things that I was taught and how I was taught and the methods used. It was really underrated in my view, the quality of the education at a law school, and also very much a beacon of innovation in legal teaching.
That's often that's the Winnipeg way. We're very modest. We don't shout from the rooftop success, but in industry after industry, and a lot of them are from grads that are coming out of the University of Manitoba, are excelling around the globe and locally. I think about your work globally, and I know you've worked in organizations that are known around the world, International Criminal Court, of course. I guess with such a distinguished career, is there anything in particular you're most proud of to date?
Well, there are many. I've been so fortunate with the opportunities I've had, and I often, when I'm speaking to young people, I say it's about recognizing opportunity and taking it, and I've been very lucky to have had those opportunities. I think the things I would highlight, without question, the fact that on behalf of Canada, I participated in the negotiation of the Rome Statute, which created the International Criminal Court, the court that I now, 20-some years later, am sitting as a judge on. And that combination is a combination that's very hard to beat in terms of a highlight of my career, especially because the court is an important step forward for international criminal justice. And also, I would highlight the time I spent in New York as the first ombudsperson for the Security Council Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee. It was a very difficult job, bringing rule of law into that very political context. And I was not on the sympathetic side, but it was an important role. It was an important job, and I'm proud of the work that I did there, and the fact that we were able to make change that's important for fair process.
You look at the topics that you've had to deal with, and I think locally of our first responders who deal with some really heavy issues on a day-to-day basis, issues affecting humanity itself, and then I look at your work and global implications and those personal stories that you're confronted with in your job, and just the weight of that responsibility that you must feel in order to do your job. And I guess I'm wondering if you can share with us, how do you ensure that it doesn't take a personal toll on you? Because I can only imagine, these are some really heavy topics that some people only really touch upon in books or in movies for a brief period, and then they get on to lighter topics, but you live this every day. So how do you ensure it doesn't take a personal toll on you?
Well, it's something you really have to be careful about, in my view. I mean, to begin with, I'm very fortunate because I come from Winnipeg and I came from a very strong grounding. I have still very many friends, especially in the PEG and from University of Manitoba days. And so I think having a life that's very well grounded and balanced is an important factor in how you can deal with this kind of work. And I also think it's really important that you acknowledge, no matter what role you're playing, this will have effect on you as a human being. So I do have to hear some very difficult stories. When I'm in the courtroom, it's all about my job there, objectively, calmly analyzing the evidence vis-a-vis the accused who are in front of me, to determine their responsibility, if any, in these crimes. But then once I leave the courtroom, you can't just simply think that this is going to be the end of it and you've done your job. And so you have to find ways to cope. I sat with a wonderful group of judges when I was at ICTY, so we would sit around afterwards sometimes, talk about other things, have a glass of scotch. And I live by the sea, and that really helps, focusing on something else, on nature. And but what's important is you acknowledge it and you address it.
And you talk about serving on the less sympathetic side. And I remember when I was in law school, contemplating, okay, do I want to be in criminal law, and could I defend folks who in some cases are ultimately found guilty? It really demonstrates a strength of character and also that commitment to the law, to be able to serve in those roles and to have confidence in the judicial process. And I know we're really well served in the judiciary here in Canada and also at the International Criminal Court because of people like you. And so I want to say thank you very much for the work that you're doing on behalf of fellow alumni and, of course, the citizens of Winnipeg. We're really proud of the work that you continue to oversee. And I want to just thank you for making time today.
Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure.
And for those of you that want to learn a little bit more about Kimberly and our other award recipients, all you have to do is visit the new digital edition of Today, the magazine. And I hope you get a chance to do that. And thanks for joining us here today. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Merci and miigwech.